my child to school. You don't have a single black kid in the NBA for my child to school. See, if you have school and cut out band and choir and athletics, you're gutting the soul of opportunities. I hope I'm getting through to somebody. Now, if you got the child, good for you, but be clear on what the trade-off is. School without choir, schools without band, schools without music, without art, football. Where does Bob Hayes come from?
All right.
I'm trying to get y'all to hear me now. So this is cutting away at the big dream. Now the vote. So the voting issue is not about blacks only. Race is a diversion from the central issue. That's why when you have another meeting, I want to be bigger, whiter, browner, blacker, younger. Say bigger, whiter, blacker, browner, younger. Because we did not battles cross alone.
Amen.
While we were facing slavery, whites were facing indentured servitude. You think slavery was tough, picking cotton, and picking tomatoes, and picking peaches? You try going down that coal mine 3 miles deep every day and back in the area for 2 days. The coal miners were using script until about 40 years ago. Coal miners were using script. They didn't have money. They were living on these plantations with guns that pointed at them, coming from, they let the Italians here, the Irish here, and every group of different language. They were worse off than slavery. The coal in Appalachia. So race became the front man, so the race became a front for a bigger economic control scheme. Voter Rights Act of 65. We always talk about how many people died. I want to stop using how many people died because, see, the issue, for those who know who died, don't matter much. The issue is not that somebody died the right to vote. The real issue, you can't live without the right to vote. You know, if you come out the graveyard, don't know nobody who was in the graveyard, it doesn't matter very much. Say this vote is not about who died. It's about Medicare, about Medicaid, about jobs, about justice, about education, about health care, about affordable housing. So this issue is not just about who died, it's also about who's living and going to live. I mean, to think that way, this is the present, this is the right now struggle.
Right now struggle. Right now. That's right. Come on, Rev. Right now.
Lastly, watch this. It manifests itself in different ways. If you're in, here's what it means in Michigan, where Bullock comes from. If you're living in a city, say Sarasota for that matter, and then sometimes you have a deficit spending. The government has passed a law where they have the power to send in an emergency manager who has the authority to sit the mayor down, sit the council down, nullify all those votes. That emergency manager didn't have the power to suspend all labor contracts and didn't have the power to sell off city properties to balance the budget. Only accountable to the state treasurer. That's Michigan. It don't stop there. That's emerging. The deal, they passed a bill that they're trying to sign now where all people who've been on cash assistance 48 months, retroactive, since they can't find a job, or have a job and can't make ends meet to their own food stamps. They've been cut that out October 1st. 13,000 people, families, will go off public assistance October 1st. Hope by the end of the year, it may be 220,000 people will be without food assistance in the wintertime in Michigan. Lest we fight back. So if you're in Michigan, you can't quite hear Florida. That's really Michigan. So this thing manifests itself in different little scheming kind of ways. So while Wisconsin may be working collective bargaining, Michigan is the emergency manager and it's a state of emergency. in Florida is restricting voting. Because more folks vote on Sunday than vote on Tuesday.
Amen.
More folks are off from work on Sunday than they're off on Tuesday. So by going 14 days down to 8 days and can't vote on Sunday before, that's restricting the vote.
Yes, it is.
The reason why it can't just be a black thing is because more white folks are affected than us. See, black people don't have a monopoly on pain. We're just the canary in the mine. But there's some more birds down there. When they say seniors must have a birth certificate and cut their seniors, so there are more white seniors than black and brown seniors. Now we have more willingness to protest because we had to fight to overcome slavery. But the protest is led by blacks, increasingly by Latinos, but we're merely the canary in the mine. Don't stop that. Farmers who couldn't pay poll taxes couldn't vote. Don't stop that. Students. It took us a long time. It was a big fight to get 18-year-olds the right to vote. I remember like I just said, 18-year-olds the right to vote. But then we argued, if you're serving in Vietnam, you should be able to vote. So we got through on that basis of service. They were always afraid that young folks might vote. Their numbers said there are more 18-year-olds than 81-year-olds. And given the student protest, they feared this 18-year-old vote. For the most part, it didn't pan out. But in 2008, because of residential voting, whole Democrats came down and voted for Barack. President Barack Obama at that time. So they're trying to cut that off. So cut it off. So if you live in Miami, go to school in Florida State, it will make it more difficult for you to get up there and vote provisional ballot. So if you cut off the senior vote, cut off the youth vote, blacks and browns have about 5.5 million blacks who don't have a driver's license. Slightly, blacks and browns are about 50+% without a driver's license today. Y'all with me so far?
Yeah.
So say blacks and browns are the most mobile. So as we move